Well. Another Monday Night Raw. Another week of Baron Corbin abusing his power and making everything just worse and worse. And WWE has obviously listened to the backlash that they've had over the last few weeks, and they tried to turn this into storyline for Baron Corbin and have Seth Rollins come out at the beginning of the show and say everything is Baron Corbin's fault. The morale of the superstars is down, the ratings is down, and everything else. And it's like, this is WWE trying to take what we had, like everyone saying that Vince needs to get the pen away from him. I've said it. Other people have said that the pen has to be taken away from Vince McMahon, to having Seth Rollins come out and be like, well, we're not gonna address who the real fault is. We're just gonna blame Baron Corbin. That's pretty much what that was. This was another episode of Monday Night Raw equals Baron Corbin abuses his power, with practically no resistance from the WWE's babyfaces again, except for Seth Rollins. Everyone else was meant to look weak for again. WWE came out. Well, there was rumors coming out this past weekend that the reason that Dean Ambrose, like the character of Dean Ambrose's heel turn, has changed because of people were crying because he was using Roman Reigns' leukemia battle in storyline, and nobody wanted to see that. But yet, tonight we have Natalya, whose father passed away earlier this year, and the reason we're not getting a heel Natalya versus Ronda Rousey feud that we were supposed to get is for that reason and that reason alone. So what do? They have the Riot Squad attack Natalya with Ruby Riot coming out with a table that has Jim Neidhart's plaster onto it and say she's going to put Natalya through the table, and her and her father will be closer than they ever been. So you take away the thing that made Dean Ambrose a despicable heel because you want to appease fans, but yet you're going to do what I think is actually kind of worse, because yes, Roman Reigns could possibly die from leukemia, but he has a fighting chance to make it and not be like done. But Jim Neidhart's gone. Jim Neidhart is 100% gone and is not coming back. So to have Ruby Riott come out and just, this is the same thing like when Eddie Guerrero passed away. You had Randy Orton come out and say he's not in heaven, he's down there in hell. Pretty much the same thing. Just WWE wants to use death of somebody to benefit themselves. This is what happened when CM Punk went up against The Undertaker, and CM Punk mocked Paul and Bearer the entire time. That's practically the same thing we have here. It's just pathetic. And WWE just... And everything that gets written for this show is to appease one person in the entire WWE universe, and that is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon makes the show, it's because he wants to appease himself, because he thinks something's funny. The toilet humor of Drake Maverick, which, by the way, we have new Raw Tag Team Champions, with Drake Maverick being pinned in a 3-on-2 handicap match, with the AOP losing the tag team titles to Rude and Gable. I don't even want to get started with that. But it's just like the toilet humor is Vince McMahon. I even said in a comment, thank you, WrestleHub, for the comments on my Unscripted this past weekend. But I put in a reply that a lot of the stuff that we see on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, most of the comedy and most of the shit, is from the mind of Vince McMahon from when Vince McMahon was a child. He's trying to relive his childhood, which was like in the 50s or 60s, in which he, like, stuff like this, that the comedy we see now probably would have been funny, isn't funny now. It's 2018, and the sad truth is Vince McMahon needs the pen taken away from him. And this was another episode of Monday Night Raw that clearly showed that Vince McMahon should have no business having that pen in his hand. It was absolutely ridiculous. Just ridiculous. But Seth Rollins and Corbin start off the show. Rollins is in the ring, and he calls Baron Corbin an abject failure. No, Seth, Monday Night Raw is an abject failure.
I got to admit, for the past couple months, I've been wrapped up in this whole thing with Dean Ambrose, and I haven't gotten an opportunity to tell you what I think about the job you've been doing as Raw General Manager. The bottom line is that under your leadership, and I use that word leadership very, very loosely, under your leadership, leadership, Monday Night Raw has sucked. And it sucked. It has sucked because of you.
This is not true, because Baron Corbin is just a puppet. He goes out there, he does his job. And he's told to say this, he's told to do that. The Raw has sucked because of Vince McMahon. Raw has sucked because of creative. Raw has sucked because a 74-year-old, or 70-whatever-year-old is sitting there writing the shows by himself, rewriting the shows to try and appease for himself. Raw has sucked because of Vince McMahon and Vince McMahon alone. And the fact that they're using a storyline because they want to try and get more heat on Baron Corbin just does not work for me.
What you've been doing as general manager-elect is not okay. It is not right. It's wrong.
I get it, Seth, you're frustrated, but I'm allowing you to vent. So if I were you, I would watch how you speak to me.
Oh, watch how I speak to you, or what? Huh? You're gonna snap your fingers? You're gonna fire me? Fire your entire roster? Is that what's gonna happen? You don't even know what to... Look, that roster, that locker room back there, that is some of the most talented men and women that Monday Night Raw has ever seen.
And most, if not all, are highly underutilized because WWE put the Universal Championship on Brock Lesnar after Roman Reigns' leukemia announcement, and WWE just wants to shit on their own superstars. And we're going to talk about that in a minute too. We're going to leave that for the end of this entire thing, because after we get through this entire Raw thing, I have a little venting to do on plans that were supposed to happen for WrestleMania and The Rock, but because this was something that broke this past weekend after Unscripted went up, so I'm going to have a little vent of that after we're done with Monday Night Raw. But Vince McMahon.
You've got no idea what to do with it. Here's an example. You've got a tag team, an amazing tag team like the Revival, who should be competing for the Raw tag team titles, and you've got them in Lucha House Rule matches. Every single decision that you've made is to mask your insecurities, Corbin. Was Braun Strowman mean to you? Did he hurt your feelings? So bad so that you felt you had to hand the title, the Universal Championship, back to Brock Lesnar? You know the last time Brock Lesnar competed on a match on Monday Night Raw? Do you have any clue? Any idea? Let's get in the Wayback Machine. All the way to 2002. 16 years since Brock Lesnar's been on a match on Raw. So this whole Baron Corbin experience, this little experiment you're doing, I got some news for you. It's been an abject failure. Because talent support, the morale from backstage, the fan support, and the TV ratings are all at an all-time low.
Because Vince McMahon doesn't know how to take the pen away. I will say that again and again and again.
And it is all because of you.
But it is typical of Vince McMahon to take all this blame that we give to him and be like, well, we're going to use this for a feud. We're going to go out there, or we're going to use this for storyline, and it's not going to be aimed towards me. It's going to be aimed towards whoever the authority figure is. If Kurt Angle would have been involved, it would still be the general manager of Monday Night Raw in charge. Somebody would, a heel would come out and be like, the ratings are low, fan support is down, the locker room morale is low, and it's all your fault, Angle. Same thing here. Just Vince McMahon taking his, and yes, Vince McMahon is very insecure about a lot of things. And you can just tell desperation in WWE to try and get something that is fact with the fact that the Raw ratings have sucked and get it to where it is to where the fans will be like, oh, well, it's not Vince McMahon's fault. He has Baron Corbin on here, and Baron Corbin sucks. I'm going to boo Baron Corbin. No. Everything that happens on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live is Vince. If it's terrible, it's because of one man and one man only, and that is Vince McMahon.
Seth, I appreciate your feedback, but next time, Save me some time. Write it on a piece of paper, put it under my desk, and I'll file it under, I don't give a damn. I don't care what you think. I don't care what the locker room thinks. And I sure as hell don't care what you think.
I don't care what you think. I don't care what the locker room thinks. I don't care what the fans think. Cliche, 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 cliche. It's been the same old story, different person saying it since at least Vince McMahon. This is just ridiculous.
This Sunday, Dean Ambrose is going to beat you for that Intercontinental Championship. And then I'm going to beat Braun Strowman in a TLC match by forfeit. Starting that very next night on Raw, until the day you quit, I am going to put you through hell.
You want to put me through hell? Why don't you put me through hell starting tonight, huh? How about we do it in this ring? You go one-on-one in a match with me right here. It's you versus me in a TLC match.
I have no problem making an example out of you. I will show everyone what happens when you disrespect the current and future general manager of Raw. But my answer's still no. Look, I have plenty of things.
Coward.
Do you understand my responsibilities?
Coward. Hey, how about we could start calling you Coward-elect Corbin? Coward. You know what, Seth?
And then you have Seth. That's just so stupid. You're a babyface sitting there acting like a fucking child, saying coward, 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 poking him in the chest, poking him like all over. Like, really? Really? That's ridiculous. Making Seth Rollins look bad right there.
Shut your mouth. You want a TLC match right here tonight? Well, you got it. That match, it'll be for that Intercontinental Championship.
So yes, that is your main event of the show. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin, which again, Baron Corbin in the main event. That worked so well last time when you had Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin in the main event 2 weeks ago. And Raw's ratings just continuing to slip. Hey Vince, you see that 2 point whatever? It's going to drop to 1.9, 1.8, 1.7, 1.6, 1.5 as the ratings continue to drop because you don't care. We, as fans, care a lot more than you do right now, and it's kind of pathetic. So we had our main event of Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins, and we'll get into that later. Then we had the 2-on-2 handicap match, Raw Tag Team Champions AOP, and Drake Maverick versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Is there a reason why Drake Maverick is with the AOP still? After tonight, if I was AOP, I would destroy Drake Maverick and send him packing. Get somebody legitimate. You wouldn't see the AOP in this kind of dilemma or anything with Paul Ellering with them. The Authors of Pain would be the most fearsome team on Monday Night Raw. But no, they got to go off and have their tag team titles lost because Drake Maverick wants to be tagged in, makes fun of, does the glorious pose in a mocking way, goes to get a pin on Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode pulls him over, 1, 2, 3, and we have new Raw Tag Team Champions, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Give me a goddamn break. And then we had Ruby Riott and Natalya. As I said earlier, you have people crying out and being like, "Oh, you guys are being like," it's like you have fans like hating the fact that Dean Ambrose is using a real medical issue for his feud with Seth Rollins. When he sit there and said, Roman Reigns has to deal with the man upstairs because of his thing in the Shield, like his part of being the Shield. People cried foul about this. You have Natalia's father, who's actually dead, being brought in for storyline continuously, and everyone's fine with it. Okay, just whatever. But Ruby Riott gives Natalya a cruel Christmas gift.
A person that wears my heart on my sleeve. But there is something that I want to get off my chest, and it's about Ruby Riott.
Because nobody cares.
I love this business. I love WWE. But Ruby doesn't respect a person in this business, and Ruby doesn't respect a thing in this business. Ruby, you made this personal when you destroyed my father's sunglasses.
Oh my fucking god, this is all over a pair of sunglasses that I'm pretty sure Jimmy Anvil Nadler did not wear the same pair of sunglasses more than once. Just like Bret Hart, of course, only wore his pair of sunglasses once because he gave them to kids. I'm pretty sure the pair that she got from that supposedly quote-unquote her daddies that were broken by Ruby Riott were probably like pair 1,128 or something of sunglasses that Jimmy Anvil Nadler wore. Whoop-de-fucking-do. If you're still crying over the fact that she broke a pair of sunglasses, give me a goddamn break. That is just pathetic.
You tried to destroy my dad's legacy. And you keep talking.
I'm sorry, how did she try to destroy your dad's legacy over a pair of fucking sunglasses? Please, again, this is just stupidity on everything. This is just the stupidity of WWE's booking or creative. You tried to destroy my dad's legacy because you broke a pair of his sunglasses that I probably found at the dollar store. God damn, this is bad.
Talking about how I've been handed everything, how I've been spoon-fed in the WWE because of my last name.
Yep.
I have had to overcome so much to make it to the WWE. You remember a little something, Ruby, called the Montreal Screwjob?
I'm pretty sure it had nothing to do with you because that was Brett and not your dad. Your dad actually left WWE out of pride, and it really had nothing to do with you, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You remember when my uncle, Bret the Hitman Hart, punched the owner of the company, Vince McMahon, in the face?
What does that have to fucking do with you? Nothing! Absolutely fucking nothing! This is just desperation to try and get heat for this feud, and it's just pathetic.
Ruby, I had to overcome all of that to make it to the WWE. And I am damn proud to be a Hart. And I am damn proud to
You're not a Hart, you are a Neidhart. There is a difference.
represent my family in the WWE. Ruby, at TLC, I'm going to teach you about respect. And Sunday at TLC, I'm going to dedicate my match
Don't say it.
to someone that if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be standing here in the WWE today. Someone that I love and that I respect more than any other person in this world. I'm going to dedicate this match, and I'm going to say his name out loud for everybody to hear, including you, Ruby. I'm dedicating this match at TLC to my father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
And that just tells me that you're going to lose. Anytime somebody dedicates their match to a family member or something like that, 9 times out of 10 they lose. I'm going to get this finished up for a second, but that was just a bad promo right there. I mean, come on. Oh, I had to overcome the Montreal Screwjob, something that had nothing to do with you or your father. It was your uncle. Oh, my uncle, I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to say it was, but I'm pretty 99%, 95% sure that Vince McMahon did not hold any of that against you, or anybody in the WWE held the Montreal Screwjob, or the fact that Bret Hart hit Vince McMahon in the face against you. So the fact that you have her say that is absolutely 100% fucking bullshit. Oh, are you gonna cry? Are you crying, Manny? God, this is just pathetic. Not for nothing.
And I am going to take every tear, every emotion, everything that I have, Ruby, and I am going to drive your through a table. Oh, look. Maddie is crying again. Maddie, all you do is walk around the locker room feeling sorry for yourself. And you want to come out here and talk to me about respect? Maddie, you don't need respect. What you... I normally walk out here with a huge...
Okay, I don't know what the heck happened. I hit a button or something.
All you do is walk around the locker room feeling sorry for yourself. And you want to come out here and talk to me about respect? Maddie, you don't need respect. What you need is to get yourself a good counselor. Now, I know no one has the guts to say this to your face, but you don't represent the hearts. You don't represent your family. You disgrace your family. Now, while I know I'm not going to be invited to the Hart family Christmas this year, I decided to get you a little gift. You know, pick your spirits up. And Maddie, believe me when I tell you that this is the gift that keeps on giving. That's love.
So it's a table with Jim the Anvil Neidhart's picture on it. And the crowd goes, oh, like, really? Absolutely no heat to this. I'm sorry.
Maddie, everyone knows how close you and your dad were. But this Sunday at TLC, when I put you through this table, you and your daddy are going to be closer than ever.
And that's that for that segment. Just a way to try and build heat for a match that is going to be, it's okay. It is what it is. It's a table match between Ruby Riott and Natalya. They've tried to build this thing up as much as they can, and honestly, I don't think people care much. It's just another way for Vince McMahon to sit there and drag somebody's name through the mud and try and get cheap heat. That's all it is. It's Vince McMahon trying to get cheap heat for Ruby Riott instead of people, which Ruby Riott played her part real well. She is definitely one of the best on the mic or in the ring for WWE. And the fact that they sat there and had her just come out and do that, I really don't care. Backstage, we see Dolph Ziggler, and he is talking, and he says he beat Drew McIntyre last week. The reason I'm talking about this is because they don't have the audio clip for it. But it says he beat Drew McIntyre last week. Ziggler doesn't want anyone to get confused. Ziggler is not a good guy or a bad guy. He is Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler didn't need or wants Finn Balor's help last week. McIntyre shouldn't have acted like Ziggler was Balor. McIntyre should have remembered that he is Dolph Ziggler. So what do you think is going to happen this week? We're getting Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler again. Before that match, McIntyre says no one stays undefeated, including him. If anything, it lit a fire under him. McIntyre is making Raw a better place for everyone. No, Drew, you're not. McIntyre doesn't care what kind of guy Ziggler is. Ziggler is the guy who's about to get his head kicked off. Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler was our next match. Who do you think was going to win this one? Drew McIntyre lost last week. We got a 50-50 book everything. So what happened? Drew McIntyre beats Dolph Ziggler with a Claymore kick out of nowhere. Like, literally, usually you see, like, Drew McIntyre getting somewhat of a running start. He was, like, literally standing up and just Claymore kick to the face for the 1, 2, 3. First match, Drew McIntyre beats him down. tosses Dolph Ziggler into a ring post, beats him down to outside, looks to take him and destroy him on the steel steps. Adam Pearce and a bunch of refs come out to stop that. Dolph Ziggler is sitting with the LED board behind him. So what does Drew McIntyre do? Claymore kick to the face. Walks out smiling. So Dolph Ziggler. Will Dolph Ziggler get involved in Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor's match on Sunday? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, maybe he'll come out after. Who knows? And then we get to the back and we have Dean Ambrose still wearing his Bane-like jacket, talking to Charlie Caruso about last week, about pretty much everything leading up to this Sunday. Before he says anything, before she can ask him anything, she said, "This is the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose." Dean Ambrose looks at her and says, "Don't ever call me that again." So Dean Ambrose detests the lunatic fringe nickname and does not want to be called the lunatic fringe. But
your comments on the
Comments. My comments on what? The architect? The architect was just a name Seth gave himself back in the spotlight squarely on himself. Hey, y'all saw it? Some architect, huh? That's not the Seth Rollins I know. He's a madman. He's rattled. Can't think straight. His head's all twisted around. I mean, he ran to the ring tonight with no plan, and now he's in a TLC match with Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental Championship. Why? Why is he doing this? I'll tell you why. Ego. Big, fat ego. Seth's big, fat ego. Seth always has to be the man. Always had to step on me and Roman to be the architect of the Shield. He's no architect. I'll tell you what he is. Seth Rollins is a piece of... You know what? After tonight, Seth Rollins is still Intercontinental Champion, then this Sunday at TLC, I take that title. I'll just tell him what I think of him to his face.
Okay, well, you did just mention Roman Reigns and the Shield, so my question is, if Roman Reigns were aware of what was going on between you and Seth, how do you think he'd react?
what kind of question is that, though? I'm pretty sure, even though he's battling leukemia in whatever hospital he's doing this in, he's probably keeping up to date with the show. I mean, why wouldn't he? It is Monday Night Raw. Maybe he could, maybe he doesn't. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure that one way or another, that's a dumb question for Charlie Caruso. She makes it seem like Roman Reigns, even in his battle with leukemia, is just off and gone and nothing there. Who cares?
Roman. Who cares?
Then she did say before he left, asked him, they wanted his comments on this, and they showed a highlight package of everything starting from the tag team title win to him turning heel to everything in between until this week. And Dean Ambrose had to say nothing as he walked off. Bayley versus Alicia Fox. Who really cares? Apparently Finn Balor is injured enough to where he can't compete in the mixed match challenge. So Apollo has replaced him. So it would be Bayley and Apollo versus whoever Alicia Fox and Jinder Mahal. So yeah, hopefully Bayley and Apollo can win, so Bayley at least can get on TLC. Elias has a song for one Bobby Lashley before he is to supposedly have a match against Lio Rush. And Elias serenades San Diego about Bobby Lashley.
I don't know how many of you heard, but Bobby Lashley did a radio interview earlier today, and he said that if it was up to him, he would take every sports team in this city and move it to a cool city like LA.
San Diego doesn't have any more sports teams, if I'm correct. I think the Chargers was all they had. What the heck is up with this thing?
Now, I don't know how many of you heard and move it to a cool city like LA.
In my TV.
That's right. That's right. His words, not mine, because what Bobby Lashley doesn't know is that if it was up to San Diego, they wouldn't let a loser like Bobby Lashley here to perform. Besides, me personally, I'd rather perform, down at the Gas Lamp District instead of in front of a bunch of LA trash. Well, that is because everyone here knows what Bobby Lashley is going to find out at TLC on Sunday. And that is that WWE stands for. What's that WWE stands for? Baby. I gotta say, I consider myself to be a pretty good guy, Hitting children with my guitar is not at the top of my list, but, last week was an exception. I gotta tell you, tonight I've got a match with Leo, and I've got to teach him a lesson he should have learned a long time ago. But before I do that, I've got a song for everyone. I've been traveling all around the world. You've seen Elias in Buenos Aires, or if you haven't, you should check that out. I decided to write a song, and I'd like to share it with you all right now. I just need everyone to silence their cell phones, hold their applause, and shut their mouths. I've been in the air so long, waiting for something to come along. Bring me back down to earth. Keep my feet above the earth. Oh, this life ain't like no other. Oh, can you hear me, brother? Actually, I can't stop thinking about how bad Bobby Lashley sucks.
And of course, that was that. Leo Rush versus Elias. I was like, okay, Leo Rush gets a chance to perform on Monday Night Raw in a legit match. Sign me up. Leo Rush can put on a great show match against Elias. But of course, with Bobby Lashley being the quote-unquote running buddies with Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin, you knew all how it was going to break loose in this. First off, Heath Slater was the referee for this match. You're wondering, why is Heath Slater a ref? Well, last week, if you don't remember, he beat Rhino in a match where loser leaves Raw, gets fired from Raw, and Baron Corbin's like, you're a referee now. Pretty much, he's in Baron Corbin's got him in his back pocket. He'll go out there and he'll do what he can to give Bobby to make other superstars' life hell. We also find that out later in the main event. Lashley gets involved, guitar to the back of Elias, Leo Rush wins. What else can I say? And then we had Alexa Bliss to monitor what was supposed to be Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax's face-to-face. Oh my goodness. I can't even. This should be the last time that Nia Jax does anything major in WWE. She should just become a lower tier superstar, putting other stars over. She can't even cut a goddamn promo to make it sound legitimately like she means it. Her promo was so goddamn bad. She needs to stick to Total Divas and just stay over there. If you were on Total Divas, get off of Monday Night Raw and get off of SmackDown Live. Stay over there. Because you're helping nothing with the product. You make the product worse. Give me wrestling. Give me women who actually care. I don't want to see this shit again. It led to it led to Ronda Rousey coming out after, Nia Jax speaks for a bit with this just disingenuous voice, disingenuous completely, and she was interrupted. Out came Ronda Rousey. Ember Moon followed as well. I'm thinking we're going to get a rematch from what happened last week, Ember Moon and Ronda Rousey versus Tamina and Nia Jax. That's not what we got. We got Ember Moon versus Tamina. Ember Moon wins. Who really cares? Ronda Rousey makes Nia Jax look like a buffoon. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental title in a TLC match. Heath Slater was your referee. And quite honestly, for the first, 10-15 minutes of this match, Heath Slater was, of course, in any TLC match, the referee does almost nothing but ring the bell to start the match and ring the bell for after the match. But for the first, everything except for the last 2-3 minutes of this match, Heath Slater shouldn't even been in the ring. He should have just been off to the side, let these two tear each other apart. These two beat the holy hell out of each other. McGrady's like to make the comment that Baron Corbin doesn't have to even go up that high. He only has to go halfway up the ladder because he has the height advantage. Shut the hell up about that, because that's bullshit. We all know that. It just makes you sound stupid. Seth Rollins looks to win this thing after he puts Baron Corbin through a table with a frog splash, a nice frog splash. I thought Baron Corbin was actually going to move, but no. He looks to win this match, but Heath Slater stops him, tosses him off the ladder, pushes the ladder, knocking him off, and then he picks up Baron Corbin, looks to help Baron Corbin win this, and I'm sitting here like, this is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. Baron Corbin does not win the Intercontinental title at this time because Seth Rollins buckle bombs him through a table. Heath Slater sits there and stands there, and he's like, I did it, don't be mad at me, I'm only doing this for my family. Seth Rollins with the super kick, stop to the one and only Baron Corbin. Seth Rollins up the ladder, and Seth Rollins retains the Intercontinental title in what was a pretty entertaining match. I'm not a big fan of Baron Corbin as it is, except for he's good on the mic. He does draw legitimate heat, always has, even in NXT. But this was a good match, and Seth Rollins again just brings Baron Corbin up a level. This is what makes Seth Rollins one of the absolute best. And if I was booking Raw, Seth Rollins would be winning the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble, and Drew McIntyre would be going and winning the Royal Rumble, and we would have Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. That would be me. If I was booking this shit, Seth Rollins wins the Universal title at the Royal Rumble, and we move on to WrestleMania between him and Drew McIntyre. That should be your WrestleMania main event. What was supposed to be the WrestleMania main event, and thank Christ it's not happening, as we will talk about this, coming out of this past weekend, and I think everybody knew this was going to happen anyway. Before the leukemia announcement of Roman Reigns, it was supposed to be The Rock coming back, and this is coming from WrestleVotes, which I think everyone knew it was going to be it anyway. It was supposed to be The Rock winning the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania, and putting over Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns, of course, has got nothing to do with WrestleMania now, which thank God, because that would have been fucking insufferable. You already put your eggs into one basket with Roman Reigns, and now you're going to give us Roman Reigns versus The Rock? Give me a fucking break. I am so fucking happy. Joe Wale, God bless you, hope you get yourself better, hope everything works out. But the character of Roman Reigns, I'm only talking about the character of Roman Reigns. They're two different people. Roman's not battling leukemia, that's Joe Wale. Roman Reigns is somebody that I would not even at all would have been happy at all if we would have seen Roman win, Roman versus The Rock. How many torches did Roman Reigns get? You gave it to him with Triple H. You gave it to him with The Undertaker. You tried to pass the torch at WrestleMania 31. What happened? You had Seth Rollins take the championship instead of giving it to Roman. You tried this past summer, or this past year at WrestleMania and SummerSlam, and the torch was dropped every time. What the fuck difference would it have made if The Rock would have came in to put Roman over? Nothing. It would have been absolutely nothing. If I'm a Finn Balor, a Drew McIntyre, a Braun Strowman, a Bobby Roode, anybody who could use the Royal Rumble to put themselves up higher in the eyes of the fans and higher in the eyes of WWE's management, I'm pissed. I would have been pissed. And if The Rock comes in and surprise wins the Royal Rumble, and then you're going to have like a Drew McIntyre or a Finn Balor go out and be like, oh, The Rock comes to WrestleMania, it's good for me because I make more money. Bullshit. That is a bullshit argument, and I don't want to fucking hear that shit. There is absolutely no fucking reason to have The Rock come in. The Rock, the only reason I want to see The Rock at WrestleMania weekend is if he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. That is it. Other than that, I don't want to see him in the ring. He's way past his prime. Go make your movies and stop. No. Give Finn Balor or Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, whoever is an active competitor is going to be here for the next 5-10 years. Give them the Royal Rumble win like they should have. Not a dinosaur in The Rock. And yes, The Rock is a dinosaur. Yes, he can sit there and probably cut a promo better than 95% of the active roster. But there is absolutely no fucking reason for him to even come close to winning the Royal Rumble. No. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Period. Move on from that. Okay. Ranting over. That is your Monday Night Raw review with a little minor rant. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TheFrost. Follow me on twitch.tv/TheFrost08. Thank you all for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. I will see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live. And I will see you guys, of course, for Wednesday for NXT and Saturday for Unscripted episode 49. So then, my name is Franz. I'm getting out of here, and you guys have a good one.